All right, I am here with our guest today, TheNovaLux. If you want to give a quick introduction of yourself for those of us who don't already know you.
Yeah. My name's Lindsey. You can call me Nova or Linz, doesn't matter. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. I was/am part of Mishmash as well. That's how I met. And I do work with the 1000 Dreams Fund, so I advocate for women in gaming. I'm in theater. I like social media stuff and Harry Potter.
I was gonna say, I feel like the first thing that I noticed about you was Harry Potter, like, and not in a bad way. I was like, okay, cool, I can get with this.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
So what house are you?
Slytherin.
Okay, cool. I'm self-proclaimed Slytherin, but I've been told that I'm probably a Ravenclaw. So I told the Sorting Hat what I wanted. I'm gonna think that he took it into consideration. So,
I mean, he probably would. You know?
Did you dye your hair recently? I noticed that it's darker. Yeah. Okay, I like it a lot. It looks really good.
Like a few nights ago, and I didn't have anywhere else to sit because it was black hair dye, so I sat in the middle of our hallway. And I looked a little bit like The Ring, so I kind of felt bad for my roommate, but you know what?
That's really funny.
She survived.
I feel like that'd be great. Like, could you imagine if it was like late at night and they come out and you're just like sitting there?
It was like 11 p.m. Oh, no. What happened? She was like, Lindsey, are you okay? And I was like, I think so.
I think we're gonna be okay.
Oh my god,
that's so great though. I feel like you've had so many different, I guess at least a few different colors over the past, I don't know, I guess however long I've known you.
Yeah,
but you kind of rock
the purple
one.
Like all of last summer.
Yeah, that one was really cool. I was really jealous of it. It looked really good. So are you going into your senior year of college? That's wild.
I know.
How do you feel about that?
Panicking all the time, but I know I'm gonna graduate on time, so like that kind of calms me down, but I'll just be kind of working my ass off until the very end.
Oh yeah. I had a follow-up question and then someone told me that I need to turn off my redeems and I realized I forgot to turn those off. So I'm gonna try to multitask because otherwise while I'm talking, we'll get big zooms of my face or cuts to my other cameras that aren't open right now.
You don't want those?
Yeah. There we go. That's it. Let me too close to my face. And it was Dom, of course. Of course it was Dom.
Classic.
Okay. And also, otherwise, there's a million sound effects. So, okay. I was gonna ask, what are you studying again? What's your major?
Okay. 2 of them. So I'm doing theater design, specifically lighting design, and also communications.
Okay, cool. Do you have what would be your dream job?
I think, well, if I was to combine the 2, I'd want to do like PR for some like big theater house.
Okay.
Or work in the gaming industry within like PR or something like that.
Yeah. That's actually really cool. I like the I don't know, I feel like it's always cool to get to combine your like passion with something. So like something with communications, because I feel like it can be so broad and it can be so like broad. Traditional business sense, but then getting to combine it with like gaming or theater or something, something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Kind of like ideal.
Oh, for sure. I never wanted to be like that person that like has a 9-to-5 and works in some like ugly corporate job.
Yeah.
That just like I just cannot picture myself doing that at all, which is why I like started doing theater in the first place. And then the more I was on Twitch, and then with the pandemic combined, I was like, oh, well, if theater's not an option, like I want to do something in the gaming industry because I know I'll still enjoy it and like slap social media onto it.
Yeah.
Go PR. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that could be really cool too. And I feel like it's a fun way of kind of combining Twitch, with that. And because I had no real understanding of the gaming industry pre-Twitch, I didn't really know much about it at all. And I feel like just being here, I've learned so much and just kind of how cool it is. And I feel like especially now we're seeing an increase in a space for women in the industry, which is important and exciting.
Yes.
Like
very necessary,
like
but
finally
like still very slow coming.
yeah. Like theater wise, have you done, because you said you do like a lot of lighting design kind of stuff. Are there any projects that you've worked on that you're specifically proud of, or anything that you'd like to do if you had the opportunity?
In the last year I've done nothing because everything's been like Zoom performances. So that sucks. So I haven't designed like a main stage show at my school yet. But my freshman year at my college, it was my roommate and her sister. Like I really didn't know her yet. They invited me on their like little studio project, and I lit, I think it's called Back the Night. And it was so fun, and like just got to know everyone too. And I don't know, it was one of the best times ever, because you get like the social aspect. Everyone's in the same headspace of like being creative and wanting to like tell important stories. Oh, I missed it.
I was gonna say there's something about like the team that you get when you're on like a cast and crew kind of thing. Like that's what I miss a lot about theater. Like I was done with like my theater classes, and like I had finished my performance right at the beginning of the pandemic, so like I was able to finish that out. But when you're working on a project with like a group of people, the way that you get to bond with them, because it's like, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, you know,
literally
you bond through some pain. Like
you do.
It's just such an amazing experience. And I feel like kind of what you mentioned, everyone's in the same headspace. And a lot of times people who end up in, you know, theater and different aspects of it, like we're all, you know, like we're all kind of weird, like in the same way. And I feel like it makes it more, I don't know, it's like finding your people kind of thing.
It really is, yeah.
So
and I never thought I'd say I missed like tech weekends of like being there for like 15 hours a day for like 3 days straight. But I really do.
Oh yeah.
I know, just being in the same room as everyone like that, I miss it. But I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. So what brought you towards, I guess, specifying more in lighting design versus the other, I guess, aspects within like theater? Because I mean, there are a ton of different components. What drew you specifically?
There's so many things. Oh my god, I feel like I haven't talked about this in forever. This is so fun. But I started in costumes, and it's like props to costume designers and anyone that works down there. It is insane. It is a labor of love. Like every design aspect is, but that especially, like they don't sleep. They don't do anything but like sew and resew, and oh my gosh. So after one show, I was like, let me try something else. And I started doing lighting, and I liked how like technical but also artistic it was. And I also liked that it wasn't tangible, because like I'm not really good at drawing or anything. You don't have to draw with light. You just push a button and plug stuff in, and like just you look at it's all in your head and in your eyes. Your eyes.
It's kind of like a digital painting almost, because like it's crazy how much the lighting can transform the feel of a show, you know, like just all of the details when they come together. That's why like Tech Weekend is always like a pain in the ass just overall, because I personally, because it's like especially lighting, like the process when you start doing it, combining it with the acting, because like you stand there, you do a few lines, you stand there, and like, but then after, when everything comes together, like as an actor too, it puts you in the headspace so much. But yeah, no, costume designers are like heroes, especially there's always, for the shows that I did at my school, there's always one that's at least backstage in case of emergency. And it was like my last show, I was wearing these for one of these shows. It was like knee-high, high-heeled like leather boots. I was like a demon queen character, and the zipper broke. And we had one more performance later that night, and the costume designer like sat there the whole break between the two shows, like sewing it very carefully back on, and it worked for the last performance.
That's insane.
I'm like, I could not handle that pressure.
Oh my god. Oh, me either.
Like if it were up to me, I would have been like, all right, well, you're gonna be barefoot now. Like yeah. You'll be like one high heel, one not. Do your choreography like that. Yeah, the fight choreo and dancing. Just like,
this is why we're not costume designers.
Yeah, there's a reason. But I guess now I usually start with like stream specific questions. I wanted to start with a little bit of theater because whenever I find anyone else who's into theater and, you
Oh
know,
my god, I'm like,
talks about it too.
Anna,
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I know that I have to like, I needed it for my soul just to talk about, especially because I feel like I haven't gotten to experience any kind of theater stuff lately.
I don't
So,
either. So long.
hopefully we'll be able to get some of it back in any kind of capacity. But so I guess starting with stream specific questions. With our, I don't know, it's like the super generic starting question, but how long have you been streaming? When did you start streaming?
In 5 days, it will be 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
So basically 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in June of 2019. Started.
Okay. You started just about a month before I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think 2019. Yeah, 2019. Time is weird.
I know.
But that's so exciting. Are you going to be like celebrating on stream?
I think so. Yeah, I need to plan most of it still, but next weekend I think we're doing a subathon, and I'm
Nice.
excited, but also
That'll be
nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those that like I feel like the planning and I feel like leading up to it's always so like nerve-wracking of like how's it gonna go, and then usually when it happens it's like a fun time and you're just kind of like hanging out with everyone. But yeah, the planning is always the stressful part. But congratulations, 2 years is amazing.
Thanks. I know. I don't know how that's happened.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. The passage of time is odd because I feel like, I mean, the entirety of 2020 was just kind of like a weird blur of time. Actually,
Yes.
I have this is not stream specific related, but I was just thinking in lighting. I don't know how many like lighting type classes you were taking over the pandemic year, but how did that impact your curriculum?
Well, we couldn't do anything in person. I took one lighting course, but it was a technology one, so we kind of just talked about I didn't pay attention and now I forget everything we did. It was all review for me, which kind of like sucked, but we would have done more of like this is how you plug things in and like the math behind it. Because unfortunately there's a little bit of math with it, but it's not a big deal. Just like learning more about electricity. So it wasn't a design class, thankfully, because that could not have happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's so hands-on, like you have to be able to like do it.
Yeah, and if you can't see it either, like
yeah,
you're not gonna take a whole 25, 50 lights to your apartment or your house and plug them in.
Yeah.
Number one, that's a lot. Number two, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Number three, where the hell are you gonna plug them in?
You'd run out of outlets so fast.
I know.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like the technicality of stuff, like or like the technical elements of stuff, I guess you could still learn, but as far as like in practice, you probably don't have as much of an ability to do.
No.
Okay. Well, at least it didn't mess things up too much. Well, I mean, besides like the obvious, it was a pandemic and everything was kind of garbage, but
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Besides the normal amount of things that were messed up. So transitioning back over to streaming questions. So what was it like starting for you? Like what led you to it and what was the process for you getting started?
I can basically contribute it to Lil Simsy. I had no idea what Twitch was until I started watching her YouTube videos, and she'd plug it all the time. And it was my freshman year at college, and it was not a good year for me. I was just not in a good headspace, and I was like, okay, I need something to like distract me. That's gonna be YouTube. And then I made a Twitch account, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I can get behind this. Like something told me to like try it, which is weird because I am more now, but I was a very like quiet person and like really shy and just not confident at all, which like you're talking to people on the internet, like I don't know. But I built my first computer, and like 2 days later I started streaming, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Like I like this, even though there's no one here. Like this is a good time. I can do this all day. And yeah, that's kind of how I started.
Yeah. How was the like, I guess the learning the technical aspect of it, like how much experience did you have with any of that? Because learning like OBS and stuff is like a whole different language almost.
Yeah. Because there was like a several month span, or just like a few months that I didn't have a PC but wanted to start streaming. Like I did as much research as I could into like the softwares and stuff you use. Because I didn't know anyone that even had a Twitch account, like that was a viewer, before I started streaming. And I wasn't really close with anyone in any of the communities that like I just wasn't a part of any community. So it was just me, myself, and I trying to figure it out. But I still couldn't like put it into practice because I didn't have anything to put it into practice with.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And I think now there's a lot more resources of like, here's how you set things up for like a just starter stream thing. I couldn't find it, at least on my own. So it was a little hard. It's a big learning curve, but paid off in the end, I guess.
What did you kind of start with when you started streaming? Did you start with any specific games?
I played, I think, Stardew Valley for like 6 months straight.
Sounds like a good time though. I was gonna say, you have really the best mods. Whenever I like pop over and see your Stardew streams, like your house looks gorgeous. Your set, oh my gosh, your like whole farm area is beautiful.
I have so much knowledge about that game. It's a little scary.
I think it was Dom who sent me, it was a TikTok, and it's like this guy, he does basically, it's like he looks like a cartoon, but it's like his body kind of outlined. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'll have to find it and I'll send it to you. But so it's like Stardew characters once you've read the Wikipedia, and like you walk in and it's like, oh, what's his name? Harvey, I think. He worked at the clinic. Mm-hmm. And like it's like you as a character, and you hand him like a coffee, and he's like, oh, it's my favorite. How did you know? And it just like zooms in on you as the character. He's like, I know everything.
I googled everything about you.
Yeah, so. Honestly. Oh my gosh. Who is your favorite NPC character from Stardew?
Probably Abigail, because she's a little girl gamer. She's so cute. Yeah. I don't know. At this point, I've divorced so many of them that like I've like I don't know what's canon anymore, because I make shit up on stream in my head and be like, well, this is why we're divorcing him, and I'm like, did that happen? I don't know. Because yeah, you can divorce your spouse in Stardew Valley.
I was surprised by some of the storylines of Stardew. Like they have the whole storyline for Shane that he's like an alcoholic, and I was like,
I know it gets so deep when you don't expect it.
I was not expecting it to be that way at all.
There probably should be a few trigger warnings on the game, to be honest. Like, and they just, you're farming one day and then you're crying the next. Like that's just how it goes.
One of my favorites is, so I usually the NPC that I end up having my character marry is Emily. And she's an interesting one because she's so ditzy sometimes. Because like it'll be like, I have sprinklers over all of my crops, and she'll be like, I went out and watered the crops this morning to make it easier for you. I hope that helped you. And I just kind of laugh, and I'm like, oh babe, we have sprinklers. Like you just double watered our plants. Like just like give her a tap on the shoulder and have a good day. Yeah exactly. Thanks. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think Dom sent a link to the TikTok that he sent. So if you have a chance, I would recommend. It's one of those that's like just really weird, but it cracked me up.
Niche, but it works.
But yeah, I don't know. It's such a good. That's one of those games that I can sink a lot of time into without realizing it. Like when Dom and I would play that when he was in Jersey, like while he's in Jersey, like because we can do it, online. Mm-hmm. And we would play until like 4 or 5 a.m. And that's 5 a.m. for me, which for him is add 3 hours, 8, 9 in the morning for him. And we'd be like, oh, I guess we should probably go to bed now. Because it's been 5 hours since we started playing. We've put in way too many hours into our farm, but but it's a good game. I think I probably vibe a little bit more with Stardew than with Animal Crossing, because I don't know. For me, it's the terraforming. I can't. It's like block by block, and I'm so like,
Exhausting
I just,
sometimes.
I just want to do it all at once.
Mhm.
Or I'll decorate something and immediately hate it. So,
I feel that one too. Yep.
in Stardew, what's your go-to skill between like, like fishing, mining, combat? What's the other ones?
Farming.
Farming, foraging, I think. Yeah, I was like, I know I'm missing some.
Oh yeah. I usually get them all up to 10 pretty quick, but I never fish. I hate fishing in video games with a burning passion. It is so boring and tedious, and I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, I usually fishing is always my lowest. Like it's the last one that I get to 10 because I put it off until I absolutely have to. Chris said fishing is the only one she can't get to 10. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Dom would always be the one who was fishing. I go mining and fight things. That's my favorite. That's my jam.
It's so fun though.
Yeah, once you get the what is it? Obsidian sword, I felt unstoppable.
Oh, so easy then.
Yeah.
There's the little slime ring too you can get after you kill 1,000 slimes, and then they just
they don't attack you anymore. Oh, that was the best thing that I ever because okay, so Dom would always do fishing and I would always do like fighting, and so I got the slime ring a lot earlier, and then I'd be like, wow, it's so nice the slimes don't attack me anymore, and he's like, wow, really nice for you.
He's like dead on the floor and you're like, ah,
oh no,
sorry.
So how did you come up with your username?
I think I just sat for like, I remember taking like 3 hours. And I was like, all right, write down a whole bunch of words that like sound nice. And then I just combined them all. And there was one I came up before TheNovaLux that I also liked. I don't remember what it was now. But it was taken everywhere, and this one was not. So that was a big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was random.
Nice. Yeah, I did a name generator, I think, because I was too lazy to like try to actually come up with stuff myself. So the other top contender was Midnight Potato. Different vibe entirely, but equally
but still
solid.
A good vibe.
Yeah. So would you say that Stardew is your favorite thing to stream, or I know that's what you kind of started with. Is there anything else that you really particularly enjoy streaming?
I haven't streamed Stardew in a while just because I really like to burn myself out with games. I'll like hyper focus on one and then be like, I can never look at it again. And then 6 months later, I'll do the exact same thing. It's just a cycle.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite thing is to stream, like, ever, but I am streaming a lot of The Sims right now, and that's been really fun. But anything that like I can also converse with people like at the same time, because like the game's nice, but like I like talking to people. And just
yeah. I feel like it's good to be able to have a balance of it, because like there are certain games where I think it was Detroit Become Human or something like that. There are certain moments where I can talk, but anything that's like, or Until Dawn is one where it's got so many QTEs and I'm like, I can't look at chat because I'm gonna miss it. Like if I stop paying attention, like I probably won't even get it if I'm paying full attention to the game. So like,
really,
yeah.
Oh my god, no. I know, which kind of like I like story-based games, but it is hard because I don't want to talk over all like the cutscenes and stuff. But then I end up talking over the cutscenes, and I'm like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah,
like it just on the screen. You didn't shut up.
Yeah, I've had that happen too, where I'm like, wait, I was playing. No, it was Life is Strange 2, and like something happened. And I was like, somebody tell me what just happened, because it's just someone clipped it because they could go far enough back. Yeah. So it's a little bit difficult because I'll go on tangents, and so I'll just like talk over it and then be like, think that I will be able to grasp what's happening, and then afterwards realize I got none of it.
No. It's like when you're reading a book or something and your eyes are scanning and your brain's just like
yeah. You finish the chapter and you're like, what was this about?
Was I reading? Am I illiterate now?
Yeah. Do I have, like Dory memory now? Is that what's happening?
Sometimes yes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But
Sometimes I like my mom's like, well, I'll walk into a room and forget what I went for, and I'm like, I do that now. Like, I've been doing that for years. That does not bode well for the future of my
Was that
memory.
supposed to start when I was
Yeah.
30 or 40? Because my body did not get the memo.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, no, now we're gonna start. Um,
Mhm.
what is your current favorite stream memory?
Oh. Um. Hmm. I think my current one is when we hit the donation goal for my charity stream from March. That was a time. We were raising funds for the 1000 Dreams Fund. And I'd never done a charity stream before, and it was such a fun time. And we were on the front page, so a lot was happening all at once. But like, oh my goodness, it was such a fun time.
That's so great. I feel like those are always such good moments too, because like when you get to that goal, like it's all, yeah, because I feel like charity streams are another, like in the same vein of like subathons, like the planning for it and like leading up to it, it's very like anxiety
I'm so
inducing and
nervous.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
when you get there, I feel like it's just that moment of like you can kind of release all the tension in your body and just enjoy that moment.
Definitely.
My microphone is in the way of this monitor, so every time I look over at my list of questions, I'm like,
Where is it?
hello. And then I don't have my glasses right now because I'm getting my new prescription and they had to take my frames.
About that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't see super well right now. I'm trying my best.
You're doing great.
What would you say is the hardest part about streaming for you?
I know that I am my biggest like obstacle. So I get in my head a lot, especially with like imposter syndrome and stuff like that. That over the last like actually probably forever, but especially the last 6 months has been especially bad.
Oh yeah.
So that as of right now is tough.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard like to deal with that in streaming, especially when like I know for me in the vein of like being my own worst enemy, I'm so bad at also comparison, you know, like where it's like, oh, look at this person. They're doing kind of the same thing that I'm doing and they're all the way up here and I'm, you know, and then it's kind of like, well, am I not good enough? Am I da, 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 you know, and then it's that the mental spiral of yeah.
Yep.
It snowballs so fast.
It really does. I have one thought and then suddenly it's like 3 hours later and I'm like,
yeah. Do I need to stop? Is it worth it? Like
I know.
yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, I can understand that. It's definitely something that I feel like a lot of people have to constantly battle because it's one of those that never really always like will entirely go away. It's just kind of like less at certain points. But yeah. Is there anything that you are wanting to try with streaming that you have not tried either for like, you know, lack of ability to do it or being afraid to try something else?
I think I've always wanted to do more like co-op type streams, but I get so nervous about it. And I'm like, well, what if they say something dumb, like, or like just so awful that I don't even know. But like, I know my friends, like, I don't surround myself with people like that. So it's really just a thing that's just in my head. But I want to do like more collab streams with people, but there's nothing like game wise that I don't want to play for whatever reason. So I think that would probably be it.
Yeah, I want to try to find a way to get, you know, I'm sure Fishy would probably be on board. Maybe you could get Pow, probably even Dom, but like do a few like every so often like makeup challenge streams again because like those were really fun. I was talking to him today about how I like there's certain like I miss that feeling of like about a year ago when Mishmash was happening. Like we just had such a good community going. We'd do crazy things together and I would absolutely love to kind of like get people back together again and do things together like that because it was such a good time and it was so fun and chaotic in the best way.
Oh, it's so chaotic. But we were also like the memories we got from that too were so perfect.
Yeah.
and they were in the moment.
Exactly. I was gonna say your Shigo is still, you know, one of my top favorite things on the channel. It turned out so well. Um it's so good. I had a follow-up to that and I cannot. It's that you know, the Dory memory thing's happening. um okay, what are your future goals for streaming and for your channel?
I think like growing my community more, obviously, and but like keeping it as tight knit as it is, because I don't know, I would never. I don't know. I like knowing people.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Doing that, I don't think I really necessarily care about like partner or anything anymore. I used to, but I think my like reasons for streaming, like they started with growing a community and having friends, and like definitely still are that, and that just needs to be my focus, you know.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that I've always thought about, like in essence, partner is cool because it's this like badge that you get, right? But the thing that always worries me about that is, what if you find yourself unable to maintain like the relationships? Because
Yeah.
it's one of those that like, yeah, having more viewers could be cool, but at the same time, I really appreciate being able to be just so close with the community, you know, and like, and then it's all a bunch of inside jokes and we're all, you know, just having fun. And I feel like not to say there's anything wrong with having more viewers and having, you know, like being like a partner channel, but then it's one of those, how do you balance that with knowing people and having conversations with people? And...
Yeah, for sure. And like, it is such a tangible like milestone, which I think is why like it would be cool. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, never, no. Don't give me partner. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it is the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think honestly it's a healthier mindset to like acknowledge and know that, because I feel like when you're so fixated on I have to be partner, then it's just everything that happens is measured by that metric, and like it's very difficult to get, you know. A lot of people have to apply so many times before they can get it still. And so I think measuring it by like, do we have a good community going? Do we have fun? Do we hang out? Like, you know, like I feel like that's so much more important overall.
It's more fulfilling too.
Yeah,
like having the numbers mindset like eats you alive, and I've had to cut people off that like were so caught up in that. And it's like toxic and like addicting almost to like constantly be checking your stats and numbers and stuff and comparing it with each other. And I was like, wait. This isn't why I started. This is not why I continue to stream. Like, can I just enjoy my time here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. That's one of those I've had to like stop doing. Like, I turn off my view count on everything, and I try to not even really look at, because I get the update, like the emails after a stream from Twitch. Like, I try not even to really acknowledge it, because I'm like, you know what? If all I care about is the numbers, I'm going to be unhappy, you know, because everybody has dips and everything. But once I stopped focusing so much on that and I started focusing more on getting to hang out with the community, like it's a lot more fun. Like,
it is.
You're streaming
I feel
for
like
fun.
My content got better when I stopped worrying about that too, because I was just in a better space.
Yeah, well, it's like I feel like people can tell that you're having fun instead of trying to do what you think people might want, or, you know, like what am I going to do that's bringing in viewers? And when I like stopped thinking that way, it I don't know, it just like it makes it more of a pleasant experience, and like people have fun when you're having fun. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. What's your favorite thing about your community?
How we're all such big nerds. Like, I love it though, because I like growing up and like literally until I got to college and met people that loved theater as much as I do and like went on to Twitch and stuff, I, for lack of better words, only knew normies. So like no one was really into video games. It was like what was popular everyone liked, and I was always like, that's so boring. Why can't we all just like Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Like, why is it weird? I don't know. And I have collected a group of big nerds who just love what they love and like are so unapologetic about it. And it's made me more like that too, where like I know who I am more because of Twitch, which is like kind of a bold statement, but like it's true. I cannot imagine my life without it.
Oh yeah. I feel like, I mean, through my time streaming, I feel like it's helped me become a clearer version of myself. Like
Yeah.
I was also very, very introverted previously. Like before streaming, you know, like in my classes and stuff, I'm the kind of person that like, even in my major was small. So it was like 18 people, you know, and in those classes, I would still like, I would be to the back, you know, other people would be talking, being the center, you know, even in an acting class, which, you know, people are constantly, everybody's trying to be in the center of attention, but you know, I'm always so quiet. And so then I got on streaming and I'm like, I'm weird and I like it. Like, why am I trying to not be weird around people?
I know.
It's so boring.
Literally though. Oh man.
So it's really cool because I feel like also because of the reach of the internet, like you're able to meet people from all over you wouldn't have otherwise met. And it's also kind of like a validation in a sense of it's like, okay, like I'm not the only person who's like this. Like this is, you know, we all have fun being a little bit weird, and I feel like that's just so comforting.
It definitely is.
I guess last streaming specific question. What would you say your strong suit is with streaming?
I'd say talking nonstop. Like, I know people have come to me and they're like, how do you do that? And because like a lot of people struggle with that at first when they start streaming of like filling the void and like,
Yeah,
just what do you say for 3 hours straight? I don't know what comes out of my mouth sometimes. It just always happens. But yeah, I'd say that. I don't know how I do it though.
it just, yeah, I feel like that's one of those that some people have the ability to just kind of like fill like, and I feel like at least in a streaming setting, you can kind of like become more comfortable with it, but it's one of those that can be hard. And that's one that I've heard from a lot of game specific streamers, why they usually kind of keep from going into just chatting or more games that allow for more talking, just because it's like, they don't necessarily know how to fill all that space, you know? And it is definitely a skill. And I feel like something that people like chatting kinds of streamers don't get enough credit for, because you know, you can play a game and engage with the game, but when you're sitting there and it's like just you, it's and it's for a couple hours, like it's definitely
I think a lot
challenge.
of people also think of like, well, people that like aren't on Twitch or no streaming at all, would be like, oh well, I can have 4-hour conversations with my friends all the time. It's like, well, yeah, but they're also talking 50% of the time. Imagine you talking for the 4 hours straight. How do you do that?
Yeah, like people will chat, you know, and you can read the chat, but you're the only one talking. You have to be able to sustain it for that long. My sister, when I first started streaming, she's like, people pay you money like with subs and stuff, but you just sit there. And so she tried it for a little bit, and so she'd do like little 30-minute streams, and then eventually she's like, no, it's too much work, I don't want to.
Like, exactly.
There you go. And then especially when you first start and you're a female, and it's you got to deal with a lot more trolls and everything, and that's not
that's a learning curve in and of itself.
Oh though. Yeah, when you first start, and because I didn't have mods when I started, because I didn't know what mods were, and people come in, they're like, send me pictures of your feet, and I'm like, why? Like, what are you gonna do with them?
What do you want with me? I just want to play video games.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, additional learning curve there. I am interested to hear a little bit more about, so your channel actually, your point system is I know it's like House Cup kind of thing, like you can use your points for that. I'd love to hear a little bit more about like how your point system works and everything, because I just think that's so creative and cool.
So we're not doing it for the summer, but it'll probably come back in the fall. But basically, there's the House Cup that goes on every month, and really, I mean, I wish there was something else I could give. I was thinking about doing like a postcard raffle for the winner every month, but the pandemic was there, and it was at the point where we were like, can I send mail? Like, will I give you COVID? I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the month, your house win, or like whichever house wins, the light colors will change. And then I bought like Harry Potter house banners that would go up on the door. And you can put your channel points towards points. Every sub would give 5 points to whatever house you want. 100 bits would give a point, and it kind of accumulates over the month.
That's so cool. I like that a lot. I feel like it's a fun kind of, I don't know, like it's a fun goal, and I feel like a good way to like, because everybody has, you know, their houses, and I feel like it's a fun way to also, I don't know, like bring that magic alive too, which is super fun.
People got so competitive with it too. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah,
it's so fun when everybody gets into it too.
Like,
yeah. Don't actually, but like a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just friendly fight. Okay, so I also have questions in a Discord. So whenever anyone in chat asks a question, my mods will put it into something that I have that I can ask you from. So before I go into some other questions, I'm just going to read through the questions that are there right now. I think they're pretty much all from the mods right now. Cowboy asked, if you had to teach something to someone or a group, what would you teach?
Like anything?
I guess so.
Oh. Actually, I think I'd teach, like, this might get a little deep, but the importance of theater and not just like Broadway. I go to a very diverse school, and I came from like an all-white high school, so I didn't know any other stories aside from white people, which is kind of boring. And so I got to college and I was like, oh my God, there are so many stories that deserve to be told. And like, that's what theater does. And it's not all about like these frilly musicals about love and happiness and money. I don't know. I think I'd teach about what theater needs to be.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, it's one of those that people underestimate the power of theater and of storytelling in the impact it can have overall. Like, one of my favorite shows that I got to do in college was called She Kills Monsters. And so it takes place in the 90s, and it deals with the main character is gay, and then there's a character that is kind of her love interest who's like closeted gay and or bi. And like, it was such a powerful show because, you know, like, it was presented in an issue that was so human. And like, the one thing that will stand with me forever is so my dad, he's never been very comfortable with that kind of point of view. Just, he's not hateful, he's just uncomfortable, and he makes jokes, which I call him out on now. But so my character, there's this whole moment at the end where it's just such a human moment of like, she's just so afraid to say something, she's so afraid, and you know, the person that she loved is dead, and she never got to tell them, you know, and like, and there's so much regret. And like, one of the things that will forever stick with me is my dad being like, it makes sense, like I can see how it's just a person who loves a person and they're so scared, like, you know, like, and that to me,
I love She Kills for that
like,
reason.
That to me is just, I don't know, like, that was everything. Like, that to me just reaffirmed, like, this is why we tell stories, because like, for something like that, for people to be able to see like, we are all human, you know, and like to stop dividing.
That's like a huge perspective change for a lot of people too.
Oh yeah.
May not have happened if you didn't go see a show.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And like, what? You think like, oh, it's just like a fun evening in the theater, and like, it can be fun too, but it can also be like really really informative,
impactful, and
and like, I love that you can do it through mediums like the whole She Kills Monsters is through like D&D, which is so much fun. When you combine all of that too, like, it's such a good because it's fun and it's got a message. I actually did my senior thesis for the honors college, was kind of along the lines of theater, but it was more along that I feel like a basis level acting class should be required as general education, and it's like a pass fail kind of thing, just because it teaches so many life skills, like between like communication, teamwork, and the most important one that I was focusing on was empathy, because, you know, the ability to feel for a character other than yourself, like being able to literally put yourself in someone's position. And I feel like people paint theater as like only fun, or it can only be used for fun things. And it can be really fun. It can be, but it also has such potential for, I don't know, to be an agent of change and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the, your kind of thing, because I feel like it's got a lot of, I don't know, I can relate to with a lot of stuff, and it just makes me really happy because I haven't gotten to like have these conversations. Okay, the next question, also from Cowboy. He says, when you wake up feeling dangerous and decide to make a bowl of cereal, what goes first, the cereal or the milk?
The cereal. I'm not a serial killer.
Thank you.
That was not a planned pun, but I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that
It was pretty solid.
But yes, the cereal and then the milk.
Okay, good. There's only been one person throughout all of the podcasts who does milk first. So I'm very happy. I was like, we're very similar, and I'm really liking how the interview is going, so I'd really hate to take a dip with milk first, but
if you said milk first, we would have to end it early.
All right, so this has been our podcast today.
Actually, we're never speaking again.
With regretted teeth.
Nice,
this has been really lovely. Thank you so much for your time. Oh my gosh. Dom asked, he always asks this question, but what is your forever food? If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Garlic bread.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. I've been looking at getting some garlic bread recently, but I got this like a butter that's like a garlic herb butter, and so I've been putting some of that on toast, and it's like instant garlic bread. Oh, it's so good.
That sounds so good right now.
Oh, I think growing up we would get like, it's like frozen like Texas toast, and so you just like put it in the oven, and it's got some cheese on it. It's
that's
top tier.
Amazing.
Chris asks, who is your partner on Stardew, and why is it not Leah? Chris's favorite character is Leah.
I think in my current farm, I'm romancing Leah, but she was always so hard to like become friends with because she's kind of picky on what she likes.
Yeah.
But she's a little artist who lives in a cabin in the woods, and like that is all I strive to be in life. So, she's great.
Oh yeah. Dom and I were playing the game, like we were doing like a co-op farm, and we had this moment where it was like, oh yeah, Leah gave me a statue, and it's like, oh, so what's your statue look like? And just like realizing, it's the same one, because it's like something super, like she's like, I named it after you, or something. There's something like that happens, and we're just kind of like, okay, well, I guess it's not special. She made 2 of them. I think. Okay. Ishmael asked favorite anime if you watch it.
My Hero Academia. I haven't finished it, but that's my favorite one I've ever watched.
That's one that I think I haven't really watched much anime since I was like a child. I watched Sailor Moon when I was like a kid, but My Hero Academia is the one that I've heard would be a good starting point. So
it's so good.
And every time a guest is asked like about their favorite podcast, that one's mentioned a lot. So or wait, did I say their favorite podcast? The podcast just asked about their favorite anime. Yeah, my brain broke for a second. But yeah, usually they say that's usually mentioned somewhere in there. I think that's all the ones that are in the Discord for now. But guys, if you're in chat and you have any questions for Nova, if you post them in chat, I bumped my microphone. If you put them in chat, my mods will put it into the Discord, and then I will ask. So keep that in mind. All right. Okay, so this next question, usually people are kind of like confused about how to answer, so I will just let you know you can answer it as broadly or specifically as you'd like to. What is your story?
Whoa. Oh my god. That is such an intimidating question. I don't know why. As broadly or specifically?
Yeah.
I feel like uh, I'll go with my story of me existing on the internet. Mostly because it starts off very interesting. So in high school, I had a fan account, and that was my first like non-personal like anything. And my first time being part of like a community that wasn't in my small hometown. It was for 5 seconds of Summer in One Direction. I was that bitch. And it was pretty popular, which is also just weird to think about now. She's dead. She's long dead. But that was my like start of the internet. And then I kind of didn't really do anything for a while. But it was also like my first kind of what is the word? Like my first internet friendship started then, I guess. And then years later, well, I guess it was only 2 years later, then I started Twitch, and now much better. Not a fan account, but still like existing on the internet and kind of like there's weird parallels sometimes. Like there's been a few people who are like, wait a minute, I followed you then, and I'm like, that's disgusting. We don't talk about it. And yeah, definitely much better. But yeah, internet friends are the best, and no one can tell you otherwise because they were wrong. So
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely blew my mind. Like, if you would have told me that I would have like closer friends through the internet than I've had, you know, probably than I had through most of college, with the exception of like my roommate.
Yeah.
I would not have believed anyone, you know, like I have talked to like a lot of the people that I've met through the internet so much more and gotten to know them so much better and had so much more fun sometimes than I ever did when I was in college. So
yeah,
pretty crazy, pretty wild, but really cool too. I love the fan account thing. I never did a fan account, but I did write fan fiction when I was in high school. So
yeah, no, I did that too.
Yeah, Hunger Games fan fiction.
Ooh.
Yeah, we cut like
Wow.
right in the middle of the first like book basically, and kind of went into our own story after that. Yeah, because we took all the main tributes from the first game. Yeah, so I was obviously really cool in high school, you know.
Oh, for sure. So was I.
Oh my god.
2 fanfic writers.
Oh my god, I know.
Authors.
Well, you know what? We're flourishing now, so. So Harry Potter, I was gonna ask, have you been able to visit yet, either like Universal LA, Orlando?
I went to Orlando.
Okay.
Oh God, when was this? Probably like 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Okay.
Beautiful, stunning. I cried.
It's
and
so
also,
well
I feel
done.
like it's, oh my God, it is like, it's just
Did
so
you get
cool.
to see
I have
both
words for it.
Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's so cool.
It's so
like every
good.
single corner is thought of and like planned out, and it is literally a designer's wet dream. I was
gonna say,
oh my God, I was
like, it's so like
amazing.
one of the things that I learned in school that I actually liked from theater and a little bit of the film stuff was like production design. Like a little bit, just like the details that go into like making something feel like that, and they nail it. And the thing that also, like, all the people who work there like are probably super stoked to be working in that area, so they give it their all, you know, like everything is
You know, I would.
Oh my god, yeah, it was just such a magical place, and like the child in me was like, oh my god, like
I know,
like there's the castle, like
we're literally
did
here.
you ride on the Hogwarts Express?
Hell yeah, I did.
Okay, just
I feel like I cried there too.
my roommate Maddie, so fun fact, tragic fact, when I was younger I watched I watched the first movie and was so deeply terrified by Voldemort in the back of the professor's head at the end that I did not watch the rest of them for a while. So then my roommate in college had me do a marathon, and we did all of them, I mean, over the course of a few weeks or maybe a week. So that spring break we went to Universal. because she'd never been to Orlando. And when we were on the Hogwarts Express, she's sitting next to me, next to the window, and there's a kid across the way because it was a family. And she's over there every time something happens, like, wow, like she's just so like excited, right? And we're college age, we're like juniors in college, and the kid across the way who's like probably like maybe 9, you know, he's sitting there the whole time. He's like, that's not real, that's fake, that's not real. Like I was like, you're gonna be a really fun grown up.
I will drop you. I know you're a child, but yeah. Oh my goodness.
I know. I was like, that's the difference between the two kinds of people in this world.
Yeah.
The people who enjoy and believe in magic, and the kid who already is like, no.
Like, yeah, grow up.
But the way that they do that is so neat. And like the frosted glass, like animation that they have along the inside.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
Oh yeah.
I know. Like that was probably when my family knew I was, I think it's when they realized how big of a nerd I was. Is because when we like came up to Hogsmeade for the first time, like I literally stopped and had like tears coming down my face. And I remember my mom looking back at me and she was like, what the hell? Like, why are you crying? And I was like, it's just so cool. Because it is.
Yeah. And all the work that like, I feel like, I don't know, out of all the parts of the park, like that's just by far the best part, because it's the one space in it that's so immersive. Like, and they nailed it. Like they nailed every single detail, you know. And did you get to do all the rides that they had? Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite?
I don't remember them much now, but I know we rode the broomstick one a bunch of times.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what the names are.
I don't know. You're going through, I think it's the one that's in Hogwarts.
Okay, I think it's called Forbidden Journey or something. It's the one where like
you're
like that. And you're flying, and there's the spider and the dragon, and okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that one's a pretty solid one. I like the way that they combine like the video, the way that they do the video screens, but they combine it with also like the props and stuff of like the spiders. Yeah, so like they'll go from like a screen to like something right in your face.
They're like, oh, here we are.
Yeah, the picture on the right, I'm pretty sure when I wrote it for the first time was just kind of like,
I'm sure
it was like the dragon or something right up in your face, and I was not prepared.
Not ready for it. No.
But yeah, it's so good. Did you try the butterbeer?
I couldn't drink it, and I think I cried about that too.
Oh no!
I have a nut allergy, and they were just not good about it. And I guess it was like made on the same line as something. I think now I could eat it because I have grown out of some. Oh, but I was so mad.
That's so frustrating.
So good,
man. And when people aren't sensitive about, did you say it's milk based?
It smelled really good.
Oh, it smelled really. Oh, sorry, I couldn't. My hearing is also really bad.
You're fine.
My vision sucks. My hearing's bad. I'm only 23. Like, yeah, this does not bode well for my future. But yeah, no, it's whatever foam they put on top is really good. I usually go for the frozen one, although I have to check because I don't know. I have an egg allergy now, so I have to see because sometimes egg is in stuff and it's always random.
Things, yeah,
the most random things. But yeah, pretty solid. Let me see. I think there was another question that someone posted. Yes. Okay. So Thomas asked, what's your most favorite parts of Twitch? Like the community interaction, learning, stream types, etc. So the examples are just to clarify in case there's any confusion.
I think the community aspect, and not just like my personal community, but even just like watching communities from afar. And I'm like, wow, they were all strangers once, and now they're best friends, or now they're dating, or now like just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I don't know, it blows my mind sometimes.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things is watching friendships develop within a community. Like, you know, like sometimes I'll go like in my Discord and I'll just see people like they're like hanging out and talking, and I'm like, friends.
You're welcome.
And it's just such a like it's such a wholesome, happy like thing really to get to see people like making friends and meeting new people. Yeah. It's great to see. Yeah, it's good. We had a movie night a few weeks ago and we watched Lilo and Stitch. Well, first we watched The Princess Bride, then we watched Lilo and Stitch. But then it was like, guys, you're my Ohana. and we got all like gross and sentimental about it, but it was like a really cute moment.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, and like
Wholesome.
wholesomeness. I pretend like I don't like it, but on few occasions I'll acknowledge my appreciation for it when I'm feeling less angsty.
There you go.
Okay. Other questions. Oh, did you have any childhood pets?
No. My first pet ever is my cat.
Really? How did you end up deciding on a cat?
I really okay, so I have only kind of been around dogs, or I had only been around dogs, because like I don't know why, but no one from where I'm from has cats. Like I'd probably known 2 cats in my whole life up until I was 18, which is insane. But I then met a really nice cat and I was like, ooh, this is fun. And they're cute. And
Yeah.
they're so much more low maintenance. And so like I kind of wanted one. But I didn't know when, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, I need an emotional support animal.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I couldn't get one until I moved back out of my parents' house.
Okay.
Because I moved in during like last summer.
Yeah.
And so that was like my goal. I was in my head, I was like, okay, the second I move out, I can get my cat. That got me through the summer. Because everyone was allergic. I don't know if I said that. But yeah, so I got Tonks. And it wasn't like, I don't even know, but going from never owning or having a pet and like being around one 24/7 to like being a mother is insane. And I also just can't imagine my life without a pet now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if I hadn't, because for a decent amount, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, both my roommates, you know, went home because one of my roommates was living in India. So she's from India. So she went home before all like travel stopped. And then my other roommate went home to Arizona. So it was just the house, me, and Maui. And I would not have made it through still semi-sane if it had not been for her, because just having another creature there, like I fully converse with her now just because like I got so used to it being in an empty house, just being like I watched Tiger King while she sat next to me and I kept like talking to her when stuff would happen about this. I'd be like, no, it was she did it. And she just stares at me like, what?
Like I don't speak English. I'm like, but what do you do? Like, just in case, I'll tell you everything about my day. And my life. Like, I need your opinion.
Or when I like come home and she's just like waiting. My favorite is she gets really mad when I travel, right? And so a few times while Dom was still here, he stayed and like watched her while I went home for some appointments and stuff. And when I came back, usually she'd sit in her bed and I'd walk in the door and she'd start screaming at me, but she did not get up because she's like, you have to come to me, you know, like it's just the attitude. I just really appreciate it.
I feel that. Well, Tonks is a quarantine cat. Like she was born last June. Like she just turned 1. So she has not existed before the pandemic. And like when I got her last August, like I've basically just been home 24/7 with her for her entire life. And a few weeks ago, I left for the first time for a prolonged period of time to babysit. And she rage vomited in the middle of the kitchen.
Oh no!
Like it must have been like the second I left. And I was like, I came back and I was like, okay, I see how this is, but you're gonna have to get used to it. Like, I'm sorry.
Just the way that cats show their either anxiety or anger is just Maui likes to rage poop. So when Dom shows up and takes her side of the bed, she'll poop on his side of the bed. Yeah. I know. She's like, this is my spot. He sleeps on the floor. Yeah. She's a little bit of a turd. And she's getting old because I got her when I was in like 3rd grade. So I was like, like a baby still, not an actual baby, but so she's fully my child. Like she knows, you know, I still have the bed that she uses as her bed from like when I first got her, which I should probably get her a new one, but she loves it. Like it's been through, I'll wash it if it gets dirty. Like I can toss it in the wash, but
it hasn't been washed in 13 years.
Yeah. If you check out this side, you can see the mustard stain from that road trip that one time. Dried to it on the other side is a piece of lettuce. From
2010.
Yeah. And this is from my 14th birthday. The thing that she started doing recently is eating my plants, which she wasn't doing too bad, but I like went and noticed a leaf that was just like kind of shredded, and I'm like, there's only one other creature in this apartment that could have done that besides me, and I know I didn't do it unless I did it in my sleep. Which that's a whole other issue then.
I just picture you sleepwalking down the stairs and be like,
And Maui's just sitting there like, Mom, what the heck?
that's my job.
Yeah. You're the person, I'm the cat.
Mhm.
So yeah. Thomas asked, favorite ice cream flavor?
Okay, Ben and Jerry's brownie buttercore.
Nice.
Easily my favorite.
Sounds
It
really
is
good.
so good.
I'm realizing now that I forgot to get ice cream from the store today.
Oh shit.
I'm only moderately disappointed. I'll only cry a little bit for 20 minutes tonight tops, okay? We're fine. I'm well adjusted. Let's see. What did you want to be when you were younger?
Several things. First, a librarian. Second, I wanted to be some sort of like criminologist type. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like something to have to do with crime scenes.
Okay.
Until I realized I hate the sight of blood and I get paranoid really easily. So that never would have worked.
Yep. I understand that.
Yeah. And that was the end of like the fun ones. And then it was like, I'll get a business degree. That ended quickly.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, there was this kid in like kindergarten. His name was Daniel. We had made like, it was like puppy love or whatever. And I was like, okay, we're gonna get married and I'm gonna work in an office and you're gonna work in a bakery and you'll bring me fresh bread every day. Like I had my priorities in check, but now
from the Hunger Games.
Yeah. But working in an office is not my jam. But fresh bread is my jam, so I think I was right on with that one.
Yeah. Some of my priorities were straight.
Yeah. So I had figured out some of who I am today was figured out at an early age. I'm kind of in the same vein about like getting paranoid too quickly because like I love true crime and I was listening to the podcast My Favorite Murder and I was really enjoying it. And then I was at my home alone and the house that I used to live in college creaked all the time. And I was like, I got to stop listening to this because I'm going to have a heart attack.
No.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Oh, yeah. I watched like the Ted Bundy documentary on Netflix and I like after that I was like, I can't go outside by myself ever again.
I am just a woman.
Yeah.
No, I get paranoid really easily, but ever since my roommate and I have lived together, so it's been only 2 years, but like paranormal things happen to us all the time.
Interesting.
So we both love true crime, but also like that shit happens and we're like, God damn, like what is it with us?
You're meant to be ghost hunters, apparently.
I think so. Which I would also, that sounds awful.
Yeah. No, whenever people talk about that kind of stuff, I'm like, no, I don't want to. You know what? Ghosts can do their own thing. I respect it. Like, you guys do you. I'm gonna stay over here.
I'll be over here. Thank you. That's fair.
Oh, Thomas just asked a good question. What's your best paranormal experience story?
So a few months ago, it's like a little two-parter, and we didn't figure it out until the morning. So I guess my roommate, her LED lights started going like, and LED lights don't do that. I know because I'm a lighting designer. Or at least they don't do that when they're working, and they were working and they were also turned off. So they like pulsed on and off at like 12:50 in the morning, and she like woke up and was like, what the fuck? And was like paralyzed with fear. And she was like, I don't know what to do. She was like about to text me like like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But she was so scared she couldn't even reach over to grab her phone. And that never happens to her.
Oh my god.
So she like waits like 20 minutes and it stops, and she goes to pee, and the bathroom is literally like right outside my door. And literally the second she comes out of the bathroom, she hears me just go And then she was like, oh, whatever, I'll go back to my room, go to sleep. She goes to sleep. In the morning, she tells me this, and I was like, oh, well, when I woke up and did that, it's because I saw someone standing in my room. And my room's really fucking tiny, so it was just like a man standing here like this. And it was like...
I would have moved!
It's the most clear image I've ever had. But when I blinked, he went away. And so, don't know how, like, I still don't know how I was not fucking terrified of that. But, like, I just went back to sleep.
I would not have been able to go back to sleep after that.
I know. That's, like, when I tell it back, like, I laugh through it, but I'm also like, why am I still not scared of this?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds horrifying. If someone else told me that, I'd be like, what the fuck? So we sprayed, like, holy water everywhere. Nothing has happened since. But yeah, it was like a weird coincidence between the two of us.
Yeah.
And just like backed up in one after another. And she even heard me go, so like it was clearly I had woken up and done that. It was weird. It was so weird.
That's so insane.
Yeah, it was about 35. And like it's insane.
This is wild. I'm just impressed that you were able to go back to sleep.
Literally, I was like, blink, oh, he's gone. What?
Oh my gosh. Ishmael asked if you could haunt anyone, who would it be?
Harry Styles. Okay. Solely to just be by him all the time.
Yeah, just to know what it's like, you know, a day in the life.
Yeah. Well, and he's like so not like secretive, but like he's in the public eye, but like celebrities like that don't like reveal themselves. Like I don't know, he doesn't vlog or anything.
Yeah.
So I just want to know his like, what does he eat in a day? Like when does he poop? I just
like a regular schedule? Is it sporadic? Like
does he like a
does it just evaporate from his body into pure joy? Like, is that how that works? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna really quickly just grab some more water because I ran out of water and it's very hot here today in LA. So I just need some water real quick, but I will be right back.
Go for it.
You're in charge of chat.
Okay. Hi, chat. Let me open it so I can see. Should we troll Aya while she's gone? Water is for winners. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi, Field Man. Hi, Cowboy. Oh, wow. Oh, I thought you were saying, is it hot in Cali? And I was like, I don't know. I'm in Chicago. You troll her when she is. I mean, that is very true and also very valid. How have you all been? Is it hot where you live? It's actually like, it was really nice in Chicago today, to be honest. I'm sure not as bad. I think it was like 70. Breath of the Wild 2, they like announced the first trailer today for that, so I am so pumped. My favorite pizza spot and is a deep dish. Okay, I don't know why people are so obsessed with deep dish. It's good, but like it's good every few months. That shit is so filling and so expensive. I was 81 for you. Yeah, no, it was like 70s today and yesterday. What's Metroid? Ooh. True. A heavy unit of a meal. It really is, though. No, but honestly, like, paying $30 for a pizza, too, because that's kind of how expensive they are. No thanks. I'll take Domino's any day.
Okay. Thank you. I am so sorry.
Okay, good.
I was just like, I feel all of the moisture leaving my lips and I need to hydrate. Yeah, it's like gotten into the hundreds today. So it's been super, super fun.
Ew.
Yeah. Not my favorite, but you know, I always stand by. I would live not in LA if it's not where I needed to be for acting stuff.
That's fair.
it's like cool to visit because it's got like, I don't know, it's kind of how I feel about like New York. Like I feel like I don't think that I could long term live in the
Oh,
city,
I can
but
never.
like to visit it or to stay like maybe like for a
Mhm.
few months kind of thing, but like long term, I could not.
Never.
Um
Yeah.
uh this is a question that's really intense. So feel free to answer it or not answer it. Have you ever felt a very angry presence in your bedroom at one point, like angry it wants to kill you?
No.
I hope not.
No. Like, we've only got happy vibes from our ghosty friends, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because they were at our old apartment too. So, you know.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I stand by that. Like, I mean, I still don't know entirely how I feel about like paranormal kind of things. I believe that people have spirits and energy, and like, it's in the same way that like when my grandma passed and I like visited her home to visit my grandpa. Like one morning, it was like a beautiful, bright like double rainbow in the sky, and like she used to paint, and so like for me, like that's a her kind of thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so like I think that like that aspect of things is true, and like like people's essences. I don't know how I feel about like ghosts, but like I know that if ghosts are a thing, happy ghosts absolutely are a thing.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Um,
Well, that and like the thing about energies too. Oh, we're gonna sound kind of crazy, but like when you walk into a room, even if it's like people that are fully alive, like you can tell if something's like if everyone's really angry or really happy. Like
yeah,
you just can. At least I can. I don't know.
it's like the energy in the
Um,
room.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'm glad that you haven't had angry ghosts, because
Me too. That sounds literally
yeah,
horrifying.
that sounds not pleasant.
Mm-mm.
That's why it's also why I can't watch any of like the Conjuring or Paranormal Activity
Oh, we
movies,
just
because
watched those.
see, like I can't do that because I know that I'm gonna be hyper paranoid about like I'm definitely the hyper paranoid type too. Like I'm just always like, so they came in to check my sprinklers last week, like the apartment complex, just because they have to check all these sprinkler or the
Yeah.
to make sure they are there and not blocked and generally functional like once a year, I guess. And they came through, and afterwards I'm like, I know that they were just checking that, but what if they were actually robbers who were casing the joint and they're gonna come steal my computer stuff? So, and like I know that that's like my overactive anxiety brain. And like I tell myself that after I have the thought, but like
Yeah.
I will fully have like a fully formed like conspiracy theory thought in my mind before then being like, that's dumb, probably not. Probably not the case. So Ishmael says The Conjuring is low-key comedies. I have no point of reference for that.
Scary. We watched we've been marathoning like the Conjuring movies and like the spin-offs and stuff. So we watched 1 and 2 and they're scary. And then we watched Annabelle. Absolutely not. Like literally I was terrified.
Is that like the most recent one?
No. They just came out with a third Conjuring movie like a few weeks ago, so that would be the most recent one, but it's it was like one of the spin-offs like just about the doll.
Because I know there's
my
one
God.
that came out within the past few years.
That's probably the one about the nun. I think it might have just been called The Nun.
No, I think like the Annabelle movie, possibly.
Oh, they made a second one.
Yeah, I
It
know
has
someone.
another word at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone from my old acting studio in Texas was in it. She was like one of the like main characters. So I was like, I wanted to watch it to like watch her in it, but I can't do scary movies.
If it's anything like the first one, like it was actually so scary. And I love horror movies because I can put myself in the mindset of like these were designers and these are actors and like art. Yay.
Yeah.
But no, that one shook me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I wish I could do horror movies because I feel like for me it's more just the anticipation, which is why I'm really bad at horror games too, because I just wait for something scary to happen and I build up all the anxiety like a jump scare is gonna happen. So when it does, it hits really hard. My example yesterday that I used on stream was like I went to the eye doctor recently and they did the puff of air to your eye thing. And every time they do that, I jump. Like I physically jump because I know that it's gonna happen. And so I'm waiting for it to happen, and then it finally happens, and it's still,
Like,
yeah.
and they're like, "Are you okay?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "Yeah,
I'm fine. I promise." I mean, it's a burst of air to my eye, which isn't normal, but whatever. But yeah, no, I don't do well with the suspense. I wish, I really do. I guess kind of speaking of like design, and translating that into film, are there any movies or anything that you've watched that are just like something like design wise that you enjoy? Whether it be lighting or something that stood out to you from that, I guess, point of view, from that, like the, I guess, designer point of view.
Yeah. Not one like specifically. Well, actually, no, I take it back. But I think ever since starting, especially like going to school for design, I notice it like everywhere, even just like in everyday life. So there's unfortunately not a single like movie or show I watch that I'm not like, oh, that was a weird choice. Like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Or like, that beautiful, love that, props to them, and everything in between. But the In the Heights movie that just came out, I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't yet. I want to.
Her little Hello song, and they're in like a New York subway. Like,
I've seen screenshots from that. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, it was beautiful. Like, I was crying. I was just like, it's just so pretty, and the lighting is. Mwah.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm very excited. Actually, one of my follow-up questions to that was going to be like, has it transformed the way that you see things? And like, I mean, you answer that in talking. Just because I think one of the things that I noticed because my degree was like half acting, half film. And so one of the things that I noticed from like studying certain aspects of like production design and lighting design and all that kind of stuff, like I'm a lot more like perceptive to it now. Like when I see something, I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing there. Like they're setting the mood there, kind of thing. Or like, or, you know, or alternatively, when something just doesn't fit, you're like, what, who?
It's so much like, more like jarring.
Yeah. And then it's one of those where I'm like, I want to talk to whoever decided that. And I want to know why, you know, like how did they mentally justify that? And what were they trying for? Because, you know, especially when it's not the end result at all.
I know.
Another thing that I think has been interesting lighting wise recently, I don't know if you watch Bo Burnham stuff, but he made a new special for Netflix, and so he made it entirely in one like I guess his guest house or whatever. And so he has a bunch of different lighting things, and so he kind of like played with the space in a way and used the lighting to transform the space into a bunch of different things. There's a song, because he does like, you know, like his song, it's like joke songs kind of thing, but one of them is called like White Girl Instagram or a White Girl's Instagram, and he does like, he sets up all of these different framed like shots so it looks like different kind of like pictures you'd see on Instagram kind of thing. And it's just like the creativity, I think I appreciated, from just like an all-encompassing, from like the music that he writes to like the visuals that he executes, because he wrote it, directed, like filmed it all himself. But yeah, so that was like, so he had some really cool visuals there as well. And also the fact that he did it all by himself just blows my mind.
I know.
Because like,
when I was gonna say, because that reminded me, like, I now know how much work goes behind even tiny projects. It is insane, and it is hours and hours and hours, and probably like 10 times more people than you think is in it.
Yeah.
Or that has worked on it, and just, yeah, like even like a 5-minute like film, 5-minute short, whatever, probably is 10 people. Or if it is one person, they're working nonstop for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen.
Because like the setup, like, because not only is it like setting everything up in practice, like planning goes into it beforehand. Like when you're lighting a production, like you have meetings beforehand to be like, okay, what are we, you know, you have to meet as a lighting team and with the director.
6 months to a year ahead of time.
Yeah. Like whenever we meet as the cast, I think whenever like for the productions we did at school, like we'd meet for our first official read through. The lighting design, costume design, and all the other designers already had presentations ready to be like, this is what we're going to do. So they've been working on it way before we've been working collectively as a cast. And like, that's why it's always one of my biggest pet peeves for the kind of actor people who are like, well, we're the only thing that matters. And I'm like, get over yourself. You were the last piece of the puzzle. Like you were the last piece that goes into it, because they've planned this, you know, you are replaceable. So
like, not to sound like that, but I mean, yeah, no, it's always frustrating coming into contact with people like that, because you also, at least I hope they just don't know how much work goes into the production side, and if they do know it, they're just an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, Yes, acting can be difficult, and sometimes like it like in you got to memorize a lot of lines. You've got to memorize like your choreography and the emotional like intensity of each scene and getting to that place. Yes, that takes work. But then also, you know, on the flip side, people need to understand there are a lot of skills that we don't have that we wouldn't be able to even if someone took me in front of a soundboard or a light board, I would be so lost. I would have no idea like
There's a lot of
you know,
buttons.
and like I don't know
You can do
whatever
a lot of
yeah, like
songs.
I would everything would catch on fire if I tried, you know, like I don't know what all the different lights are. I know gels is a thing like that you can put over them, I think.
Yep.
But like
Yeah,
ultimately it's people have to really understand. And I think that to me that's what separates like I mean, you can be talented at acting, but I don't think you're a good actor if you don't understand the work that goes into
you won't
every
get hired
part.
again.
Yeah,
If you're
like
an asshole.
if you're not appreciative of all of the work that goes into it, because everybody, you know, and like we're all doing what we love, kind of thing, like all doing our craft, but that does not mean it's not hard and not frustrating at many points.
For sure.
So, yeah, I think it's one of those that I've definitely just kind of also observing, like when you're there and you kind of observe what everybody else is doing the whole time, like you can learn a lot just from that to see like they're constantly moving, constantly doing stuff because they've got stuff to do too, you know. So but yeah, let's see, I don't think there are any more questions right now from chat currently. I do have more in my list. Oh, so this is kind of a fun one. What would you say are the most important parts of your identity? Like, what are the traits that you think make you who you are?
I feel like I always say this, but I am a very loyal person. Like, if I am friends with you or like just if I know someone in any way, like I've got your back, unless you like prove me wrong. But
Yeah.
like when I love hard kind of thing. And I feel like if I didn't have that, like that's so like it's just such a big part of me. And I like that about myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've always been the kind of person, like I really like I guess personally resonated with like when I love hard. Like I'm very much so like a quality over quantity. Like I've always kind of had like a few really close friends who it's like, you know, I don't know, small talk is like one of my least favorite things in the world, you know, like when you choose to hang out with someone and you can only have like very like, and I don't mind like that every so often, but I'm like, if I'm gonna invest energy, like I want to be able to hang out with people who get me and who I can be myself around. And so
yeah,
I feel like having those like really close relationships is just ultimately so much more, I don't want to say gratifying, but like fulfilling is a better word for it.
Definitely. No, I get that.
Also, so I noticed you've got some of the Funko Pops behind you. Which ones are they?
Yeah. Oh, we have Snape going to the Yule Ball, and we have Hermione.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Good choices. I like that a lot. And then I see a little eye right above them.
Oh, that's Hedwig.
Yeah, just hanging out. Yeah. So angry.
Staring.
That's a face that Maui makes all the time.
Honestly,
I'm also still not over. I'm still not over the whole Hedwig situation towards the end of the movies. Like, just
oh, no, me either. I would be over that.
It didn't. There was not enough justice there, and that's all I'll say about it.
Like, not at all.
I literally turned to my friend who was watching it with me, and I was like, "Did they just like?" There's
just no reason. Like,
it was unnecessary. It was
100%.
I feel like it was just kind of like, well, we've got to do something to someone. And I was
Anyone
like,
else?
hey, Draco, come on. Like, he's kind of annoying the whole time. Like, I feel for him because his parents aren't the best, right? But he just kind of like fights, and then the second someone says anything back to him, he's like, but my dad.
But my dad, he's on the school board. He's on the PTO, actually.
my dad will be hearing about this, okay? I was like, still, there are plenty of other options if you have to take someone from the storyline, but let's see. Who is or are your role model or role models?
My mom and my aunt. They're just the best. Just like strong women. They've never like settled for anything. And and that is a big thing.
Oh yeah.
I have learned in the past year, don't settle for anything. So them, I love them.
I love that. Oops, sorry, I dropped my hairband.
Oh, you're good.
If I leave it on the floor, Maui will eat it. I don't know why, they don't taste very good, but she's a cat. So what do you want to be remembered for?
Ooh. I feel like this goes back to like the trait thing, but like I just want to be remembered as like a good friend or just someone that was there for people all the time. Like I don't need any like fancy anything, but if I have, I don't know, if I'm remembered by the people I love, I think that's okay with me.
Yeah. What kind of, I guess, TVs are you into? And I know Harry Potter is a big part of like film and stuff, but like also with film, like film and TV, what kind of are your go-tos or your favorites?
I like a good like drama or just like anything like that. I really like The Handmaid's Tale. I've been watching that lately. I usually don't watch shows twice. That I've watched twice.
Okay.
And like the design aspect of that is, oh my god, it's so good. That and Schitt's Creek, which they're kind of like opposites,
Yeah.
but I love Schitt's Creek so much.
It's such a good show. Like
It is.
that's one that like each time that I've watched it, I think I've watched it through all the way like 3 times now.
Yeah,
Like
same.
each time that I've watched it, it's still as good. Like the writing is so solid. The character development in that show is
Oh my god, it's
so
insane.
good. Like it's and the fact that they ended like the way that they did, like they didn't have to. They weren't getting canceled. They chose to end it because they knew how they wanted the story to end.
Exactly.
I have a lot of respect for.
So much, yeah.
Yeah, because you know it's like people will drag a show on as long as they can, but I think the way like to leave you wanting more is probably ultimately a better thing, you know? Because
But they also like wrapped it up well enough where you're not like, what the hell?
exactly. Like when the show ended, I was sad that it was over because it was such a great show and I loved it and I loved the characters. But they gave it with a like it was a really good sense of closure where it's like, okay, like this chapter of their lives, like you've seen this full chapter of their lives. And now there's some, you know, now they move to something else. And like, oh. And the way that that show, you can go from crying to laughing in literally 2 seconds. Like it's just it's
crazy.
I just think about like the wedding scene, you know, like that one. Like I am both like laughing and just sobbing.
Literally. Because I cry and then Moira comes in her little Pope looking outfit and I'm like, oh my god. And then I go back to crying because they're all singing. Oh my goodness. No.
Yeah.
It's just there's not a single bad episode, and like the fact they also fit in such big like issues and like themes like into the framework of the show, and also in a way that it's not preachy, but it's like
it's just
I think one of them described it as like you fall in love with the character and then when you realize that like for example like David's gay, if you are uncomfortable by that, like if you have to kind of be faced with the like why does this make me uncomfortable because I like this character, why am I not happy with him loving someone else, like, and I'm like wow they did that so well.
And like
that's so
the
kinky.
way that they very casually, because they have David explain kind of like I think he explains like pansexuality with like when he's talking about wine and he's like, oh, like I don't like the wine, like, or I like the wine, not the label kind of thing. And like, it's just so effortless and like such a great kind of example of it. And then the other thing that people have mentioned that they appreciate is like, because it's set in a small town, which you could have all kinds of like issues with people, you know, or having people having issues with that. And they didn't do that. They didn't take it that route, you know?
I know.
And then just the arc that Alexis goes through is just so I could cry. It's
I do cry.
It's
oh my god, no, it makes me so emotional too.
Yeah, it's just like when I think about the characters, like how much they grow. I'm like, and they've got their own little apothecary, and then she's gonna go do her own thing, and like your heart breaks at the end because like they realize how much like they used to not want to be around each other all the time, and now they like are gonna miss each other, and like it just
I know.
That's one that I will frequently revisit because it's just so well done. Like that's what
It is.
that's I think a peak example of just like really good television because it's funny. Like the writing is funny. It's I don't know, like it's obviously kind of wild situation sometimes, but like it's like still realistic. Like it's not super like overly satire and like
Yeah.
the way that it's done and I don't there's no filler episodes. Like it's all
It's all purposeful. And I'm
Yeah.
like, thank you. I love it.
I know. I can't. And the fact that Dan Levy and Eugene Levy got to do a show together, like father son. And then I think it's Sarah Levy who plays wow, I can't even remember her character name right now. She works at the cafe, Twyla. And so that's like his sister and Eugene's daughter. And I just think it's so great that they got to like make something together as a family. Like that's the dream.
Yeah.
I'll go hit up my dad and he'll be like, "What?" I can take you to
I'm
Home
not doing
Depot, but that's the best I can offer.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. What never fails to make you smile or laugh?
Is it bad to say Schitt's Creek?
No, because
yeah, that and like my friends. I don't even like we're just so dumb together sometimes.
but I feel like those are
all
the
the
best
time.
times. Like
Yeah.
that's the best kind of relationship where you can just be dumb together and like not have to worry about anything else. So I do see the question from Ishmael, and this question just concerns me. The question is the ocean soup?
Yeah. Is the ocean soup? Why not? I don't know.
I guess like kind of in
the water
like a
broth, and
giant
then
bowl.
fish, so it's a giant fish stew. I
Yeah,
guess.
very very salty,
Big.
big soup.
A big
A
stew.
very big stew. What if instead of like saying you're visiting the ocean, like, oh, I'm visiting the big stew today?
Oh, I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah.
People are gonna look at me like I'm crazy, or they already am, and be like, "You're doing what?" You know?
Yeah, the
soup.
big stew.
Duh.
It's in a really big bowl. Salty, you know?
Technically.
It's got some fish in it.
Yeah.
Some
Because
other
the sides of the bowl is like the land, and then it just kind of, probably a little lumpy on the bottom. But that's okay.
yeah, it's just a little extra character.
We've justified this too much.
There's a follow-up question from Dom now. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Absolutely not. Don't even with me. I still think about the like, is an egg a fruit or a vegetable question all the time. From like, I think when we did like the Mishmash podcast one time.
Oh yeah,
and it was all those weird questions. Like, is a ravioli close to a Pop-Tart on like the family food tree?
I don't like that question.
I know. Hmm.
In shape only, like.
But I mean, Pop-Tarts are filled in the same way raviolis are. But
I am distressed.
I know.
And then Chris follows that up with, is ketchup a smoothie?
No, that's disgusting. I also like don't love ketchup that much. Maybe if I liked it, I'd say yes, but no, I think you need more than one thing in a smoothie. Well, I guess ketchup has more than one thing. No.
I don't know. I mean,
No.
I consider smoothies to have to be like freshly made. Like smoothies don't keep, right? Because it's like typically like frozen fruits and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like fresh fruit.
Like yeah, and so like otherwise it gets like kind of lumpy. And with ketchup, it's in a bottle or in a packet meant to be like preserved over a long time, and smoothies aren't preserved over a long time. So I'm gonna say that's my reasoning for why.
I like that argument.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna stick with. Oh wait, I had a question. Oh, okay. What do you miss most about pre-pandemic life?
Traveling, I think.
If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? If you could, like, anywhere across anywhere.
I think I'd go to Italy. Because my family and I were going to go the summer of the pandemic, because we might have family there, question mark. But, like, I don't know. We're half Italian, so we were going to go to find family / spread ashes. I know that's a little dark, but, like, you know. Slash just go to see the motherland, I guess. We never got to do that, so I'd probably go there. And also just Europe. She's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And there is so much variety there too. Like there are so many different countries. There's so much to see, even just within a single country.
I know.
Also, Italy, big plus. The food.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The pasta, the pizza, like.
It is all I need in life. Like, I could live off carbs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Easily.
I'm just thinking about pasta now. Ooh. First garlic bread, now pasta. I feel like anytime I stream, I end up, even in podcasts, it ends up circulating around food in some degree. And that's, you know what? I stand by that. Food is important.
It is.
Dom had also asked, what's your favorite dessert?
Oh my gosh. I think, well, okay, I don't know if this is my favorite. This is one that comes to mind. Brownies with vanilla ice cream on top. But like the brownies would be fresh out of the oven.
Like a warm,
and still very
okay,
good.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. That is just such a good combination.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like the molten chocolate lava cake vibes, like similar kind of thing. So like you got the chocolate cake with the chocolate in the middle and ice cream on top. Oh yeah.
Those are good.
I used to go to Chili's. Maddie, my best friend Maddie, and I would go to Chili's and just for dessert, and we'd just get a lava cake and split it.
Respect that.
Yeah. We'd be like, oh, do you want to like go get cake? Yeah. Okay. So then we'd just like go cake trip, you know, as one does. Chris asked, what's your favorite cheese?
Blue cheese. I'm kind of a psycho when it comes to those. Like, I don't know. I feel like my mom tells me that we both have Mediterranean taste buds, so we like the like extremely salty things, the cheeses no one else likes. But it is what it is.
I like blue cheese too, so you know, like I love me a good like blue cheese salad, or I like sometimes like they'll do like a wedge salad, so it's like a wedge of lettuce with like a little bit of bacon, some blue cheese, you know, and a blue cheese, that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like Swiss cheese, but I like. Yeah, I've never.
Like nothing.
Yeah, I've never really understood it.
Yeah.
So you know what? I can back you up on the blue cheese because I knew that's one of those. It's a very divisive opinion.
It's a controversial cheese opinion.
It's a very brave choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion. Also, I just want to say in chat, guys, if you okay, isn't all cheese mold in some degree though? Dom. Anyway, if you have any other questions in chat, get your last questions in now. I don't want to keep you too long. I have some more that I can pull from, but I just want to get a last notice into chat if you have any that are burning questions. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I had other questions and then I lost them. If I could see, it would help so much. Okay, what would you say is your greatest achievement?
Ooh. Oh my god, I don't know. In what sense?
I mean, just something that you are, one of the things that like you're most proud of. I'm so hard on myself. I'm like, are you proud of anything? Are you? It's the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, kicking me right now.
Yeah.
I I'm very proud of like the work I do with the 1000 Dreams Fund and like all of that. I'm also proud of like my ability to stay true to myself sometimes. It's been a tough year, but I feel like I don't know, I've grown into myself. I have learned a lot. And that's hard, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's one of those that people either they reach that point and they either grow or they get stuck, you know? Because I think when you reach that point, it can be kind of scary to kind of address and to grow with yourself. And so I think absolutely like self-growth is one of the most underrated things, you know, like people go through it all the time and they don't give themselves nearly enough credit. So
for sure.
I think I asked most of these. Okay, there is another question in the little Discord. Hypothetically, you have 24 hours to live. What are you doing?
Well, I would probably oh my god. See, this is when like teleporting, okay, you know, it's hypothetical. I can teleport. I'm making the rules here. Okay, if I could teleport, I would go to like as many places on my bucket list, or like hypothetical bucket list, I guess, that I would want to go just to see everything, and probably spend it with my friends. And in the last hour, I'd just spend it on the beach. I fucking love the beach. I don't know.
Sounds like a good time.
Beach possible.
Yeah, visit every single beach. Yeah, there you go. Just within the last, you know, travel around for the last 30, you know, or for the, you know, like first 30 of the last hour, last 30 of the last hour, just chill at one, you know?
Yeah.
And vibe. I feel like that,
for the next
person.
Exactly.
Like, leave a list behind of like the top beaches to visit.
There you go. That's my legacy.
The ultimate beach blog. Beaches to visit before you die, you know? Dom asks, can you talk more about the 1000 Dreams Fund and what it does?
Hell yeah, I can. So it is a nonprofit that helps women and non-binary folks and trans women just get funding and grants. So they have portions for just like college and university students, specifically like people on like STEM. They have some Twitch grants, specifically some like broadcasting ones. They're starting to get a few more like opportunities with like other brands and organizations and stuff, but that's kind of like the gist of it. There's a lovely community of people surrounding it too. Like, everyone's just so uplifting. And I got one of the grants too, so I know like how impactful it is. Like, just having people basically just tell you like this dream is valid, and like even though there's not maybe many people that look like you in this space, like there should be, and you are going to be that, and that is so cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So yeah, it's such a cool thing to be a part of and have also experienced myself. There's a few grants open now, so like if you're a woman who streams and you want some money to like upgrade your equipment or go to some convention or anything like that, apply for it. I can help.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing to have and to be a part of as well, like getting to fundraise for it as well. I think that's super awesome. Yeah, I love that. That's really, thank you for sharing. That's really awesome. Okay. There's a question from Sky. Questions for guest. Is the guest an actress? How would she rate this podcast today? And if she could change one thing in the world, what would it be? That's a 3-part question.
Okay. No, I'm not an actress. I get severe stage fright in person. What was the second question?
How would she rate this podcast today?
11 out of 10. No, it's been a really good time. And then what would I change in the world?
Yeah, if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
For everyone to be empathetic. Like, why just put yourself in the other person's shoes for like a second.
It blows my mind that it's so hard for people to do, or how they like
I
people seem
know.
to have no ability to do that.
It's crazy.
Nice, pretty solid. uh okay, Dom asked, what's your post stream decompression thing?
Oh, I immediately turn my lights off, and then I'm like, oh yeah, those do hurt my eyes.
Yep.
Every day, think the
Yep.
same thing, and every day I turn them back on.
Yep.
And then I usually like I try and stay in like whoever's channel I rated for like a little bit, but then I'll usually like go and get food and water and stuff, and I say rest my eyes, but I just go on my phone for a while.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like it's always like I always do this, like I'll turn off my lights and immediately do like a little like deflate where I'm kind of like,
Oh yeah. I'm like
yeah. Where you can like turn off for a second and be like, okay, now I can just
know.
exist in this space without having to be
Yeah.
entertaining. Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
though. I've had people who would like sit in on streams and like watch the switch, and they're like, you like, what
Yeah.
was that? You just, I don't know. I'm just, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn my face off for a second. Like it hurts a little bit.
I was gonna say, like, being on stream can be exhausting because you're yourself. Like, you know, like there are some people who are personas, but like for the most part, like, you know, like we're ourselves, but it's like an elevated version of that.
Yeah.
Like when I talk to my friends and stuff, I feel like sometimes I can be this animated, but half the time we're just hanging out, we're just chilling. I'm not like, you know, super crazy and wild all the time. So
talking 24/7.
Yeah.
It's like we have the dull moments, and then we'll go back into like the crackhead hours, and it's fine.
yeah.
But yeah, there's no dip in that when you're streaming. You've got to. I mean, you don't have to be up here all the time, but I am.
Yeah.
Or at least I try to be.
Okay. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I think we're almost about at 2 hours. I guess talking. I mean, I've had so much fun. It was one of those, like, I have been kind of like just waiting until getting to have you on because I was like, you're really cool. And I was like, I feel like we're going to have a good time. Like, I feel like it's going to be really fun. Yeah. And I was absolutely correct in that. Like, I just had such a good time hanging out with you. You're really funny and you're really cool.
Oh my God, my ego.
But also, I know you had mentioned wanting to do, you know, more like collab streams and stuff. So if you ever are interested, like I'm always down, and I think you're really cool, and I'd love to do. I don't even know what. I don't have many skills to offer, but I can exist.
We'll find one skill.
Yeah, we'll find the one. Yeah. Okay, I'm down. Guys in chat, reminder, if you do !guest, it'll bring up a link to Nova's channel. Please go check her out, give her a follow, give her a sub. You know, Twitch Prime, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free sub per month on Twitch, so maybe use that on someone really cool like TheNovaLux. But definitely go check her out. She's really cool, as you can see. Is there anything else that you'd like to promote before we head out?
No. Nothing. Thank you for having me on, though.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, it was really fun. Like sometimes, like every podcast is kind of like a toss-up because I never know. I mean, I know you better than I've known some of my guests, and so it's always like sometimes we have like a really good back and forth, and sometimes it's like a little bit slower. But like I feel like this whole time, like there's been something to talk about, and it's been really fun. And like I've never once felt awkward, which is rare for me because normally there's always a moment where I'm like,
"Wait, are you?"
So it's been really good. I had a really good time. But I'm going to go ahead and transition us back over to the promo screen that is the image of your beautiful face. Alrighty. But thank you again. If you want to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye. Thank you for being here.